Welcome to Barbie's bitch house. That was really deep.
House. Last time a lot of fuckery happened. This time some more fuckery is gonna happen.
We're almost done with this, so...
I don't even want to read the author's note. It's fucking stupid. Harry, what is this? Okay.
What if they pull out guns and shoot Voldemort?
I hope they do. Okay, here's the thing that's just a bunch of bullshit. Another thing that I've gotten many messages about is the Slytherins. People are saying that somehow this means I hate Catholics. Friends, I do not hate Catholics at all. All I want is for Catholics and everybody else to go to heaven and be happy with God. Do you want to know who truly hates Catholics? The so-called Catholic Church. Ironic, but think about it. Why else would they lie to Catholics about salvation? And did you know their leader's a socialist? It seems like a certain someone doesn't know how much about the Bible or the Constitution. And what about there only being one God and no others? So if any Catholics... Oh, this is the most backhanded shit. So if any Catholics are reading this, I'm asking you this in love. Consider which is more important, your so-called religion or the truth.
So basically bashing other religions because they
She's
don't
a
believe in
fucking
the same
bigot.
thing. I hate it when people will say that and be like, I don't hate you, but I think you should go to hell. And it's like that. It's basically that.
Harry, Hermione, Dean Thomas, and Ronald all walked solemnly back to the main campus. They could hardly believe what they had just read. Voldemort on their campus? What would they do if they ran into him? They quickly went into their dorms and got to sleep. The next morning, the four little ones sat together for breakfast. The spread today was truly delicious. Fluffy scrambled eggs, crispy bacon, home fries, grits, waffles, apples, orange juice, and iced tea. Truly, the blessings today were abundant. I'm just imagining Dumbledore being like, can we get some fluffy scrambled eggs with some crispy bacon and some...
But only give girls 2 pieces.
And some home fries with some grits. And some waffles. And some apples and orange
Why did you
juice
shake your
and
ass when you
iced
said
tea.
waffles?
Waffles. That's just how the song goes.
Okay.
I still can't believe Voldemort has been seen on our own campus, Harry whispered after swallowing a bite of bacon. Neither can I. That sounds like that bus driver from fucking South Park. Neither can I. I can't wait to own a fish. That's why I said, neither can I. Dean Thomas commented perceptively. We both looked at each other. I'm scared, Hermione murmured and fidgeted with her fork. What if
I thought she'd be fidgeting with her hair again because she's always like...
What if he tries to kill Harry? It'll be fine, Harry declared boldly.
It'll be fine.
And then gave her hand a reassured squeeze, and then they both blushed. What are the four you gossiping about? A voice said. It was smug and it came from behind them. Harry turned around.
Draco?
Harry turned around and he saw Draco standing behind him. Draco's hands were folded and rested on his stomach. Behind him stood 2 other young men, dressed the same as Draco, tan pants.
Crab and Goyle.
Yeah. Did you just fart?
No.
I thought I heard you fart, and I was like, that's disgusting. We don't do that in this house. In this Barbie's bitch house. And they both blushed. What the fuck are you gossiping about? We were just discussing something we read in the paper. Harry said friendly. Would you like to join us? She said friendlily again. Draco chortled pompously. I think not. You may be comfortable dying with women outside of your family, but I am not. I know that I am better than women. Why would I want to talk to one? Harry gritted his fucking teeth. He had enough of this. So-called feminists these days call everything sexist. What? Hold on. A man respecting his woman and providing for her and giving her the children and home that she truly desires is called woman hating. Such silliness can make us forget what real sexism looks like. This is painful to read. The truth is, women are just as smart as men, yes. And God made us as their equals, yes.
The only things we agree with, yeah.
But equal does not mean the same. And when we treat men and women as being the same and tell women to go to work all day and forget about her true calling as a wife and mother...
There's the part...
then that is real woman hating. And then there are people like Draco who think that God messed up and made women worse than men, and neither is okay. I love how how the author is like, I need to explain this in this scene. That is a mean thing to say, Harry screamed. That is a mean thing to say. That sounded like a fucking dog. Harry screamed bravely, and he banged his fists on the table so hard that the plates bounced. Mr. Snape looked over in their direction, and he saw the commotion that was going on at the moment.
I'm sorry. What?
No, I'm about what's coming up. He was dressed very dapperly today. in a freshly pressed dress shirt and practical pants that complemented his long, muscular legs perfectly. Above the top button of his shirt, a hint of the thick carpet underneath was visible. He carried with him a big, heavy King James version of the Bible as he sauntered across the cafeteria.
Snape?
Yeah.
I think this woman really is just down bad for Snape.
She's like
and wants
masturbating
to
while she's writing this. She's like, his fucking carpet!
No! Do you think her fucking husband reads it and then is like,
take that out, bitch!
Because for some reason, every time he pops up, she's like, his muscular, hairy chest.
God!
He'd be like, girl.
He's like, you talking about my chest? And she's like, yeah, sweetie. Yes, I am. Don't hit me again. Don't hit me again. And that's a mean thing to say. What exactly is going on here? He questioned. Snape did, putting his arms over his chest. Nothing. Draco muttered in the embarrassed voice of one who knows he has done wrong. But Harry boldly and honestly retorted, Draco's being a bully to the ladies. With a gasp, Greg.
That was so gay of Harry to say.
Who the fuck is Greg? With a gasp, Greg covered his mouth with his delicate, long-fingered hands. Detention, Draco. We as Christians must be respectful of women and treat them with the gentleness they deserve as our mothers and sisters and daughters. Mr. Snape grabbed Draco's wrist and led him out of the cafeteria. Harry smiled holily at the sanctimonious fool. Draco shook his fist. I'll get you for this, Potter. Tonight after dinner.
I'm gonna beat your fucking ass.
You're not ready for this. Tonight after dinner.
Stop shaking your hand like that.
Tonight after dinner in the courtyard, we will have a pray-off.
A what?
A pray-off.
Because violence is obviously not the answer, you guys. Even though he wants to
pummel his fucking face in with prayers. We're almost done, y'all. We're almost done.
The author's note isn't really anything good, really.
Skip it.
Okay. The campus was dark when Harry, Hermione, Dean Thomas, and Ronald walked out of their dormitories. It was completely silent because all the other little ones were asleep. The bright, shining stars twinkled approvingly at the righteous young Christian trio. It says trio, but there's 4 of them.
I mean, unless they're not counting Ron.
Well, I mean, I guess he would be in a different dormitory, maybe. But it said all of them, and then it said the trio, and I'm like, there's 4.
Like, okay, homeschooled.
I'm nervous, Ronald uttered shakily.
That makes me think that Ask Ray meme, where it's like, I'm nervous.
Isn't this against the rules? Harry, Dean, Thomas, and Hermione exchanged a knowing look. It wasn't Ronald's fault. It was just how he had been raised. Slytherin hats do not usually question authority. They think they just need to do what the head Slytherin hats tell them to do. They never think that maybe the Lord's work is important. Yeah, they do. They believe in Christ, too. Anyway. It's basically like, it's not their fault. They were raised wrong. But, like, be so fucking for real.
Go fuck yourself.
This is the Lord's work, Harry explained patiently. This is more important. That's right, Dean Thomas said wisely.
Oh my god!
And not a single word was mispronounced.
Okay, so this is totally racially motivated.
He had dressed quite respectably for the occasion. His face was scrubbed quite cleanly. Any mommy would be proud to have him for her son. The way that they talk about him just makes it really bad, in my opinion.
So gross.
Because knowing what you know, it sounds racially motivated
The
as
mommy
hell.
part makes me want to kill myself. The mommy will be good to have it. I'm like, fuck off.
Oh, Ronald murmured wonderingly. He had never thought that anything could be more important than following rules. Not even the Lord's work. Ronald was starting to ask the big questions, which just might lead him to salvation. Apparently he wasn't. Anyway. Just think that would have happened if Harry had not known to love the sin and not the sinner. They're hating him again because he was a different religion. Just then, Draco stepped out from behind a tree. He was wearing yet another sweater vest, and he was proudly sporting a Ravenclaw hat. Well, Potter, Draco drawled smugly. Looks like you came to the pray-off after all. That's right, Harry answered courageously. How are they praying off? Are they, like, jerking each other off?
The other hands are like, put your hands together and pray.
Oh, no! I'm sorry. I was like, how the fuck you do that? That's right, Harry answered courageously. Well then, Draco grinned self-righteously. Let's pray. Harry and Draco got down on their knees and raised their hands to the sky. I'll go first because God loves me the best. Draco declared confidently. With that, he shouted, "Dear Lord, if you agree with me that women are stupid and Potter is wrong, please strike him down where he kneels." Dean Thomas and Ronald gasped. Hermione began to cry, but Harry did not flinch. He knew that he was a man of the Lord. Draco grinned viciously as he looked to the sky for a bolt of lightning, but none came. His eyes widened and his jaw dropped. He began to cry. Now it was Harry's turn to pray. He just raised his hands far higher than Draco's had been, and he screamed in a voice far louder than Draco's had been, "Dear Lord, if you agree with me that women are just as good as men, but just different, please." For a second, he thought about asking for Draco to be struck down, but then he was overcome with mercy. "Please make him a Gryffindor hat." In that moment, the hat on Draco's head changed into a red and yellow one with a lion on it, and the tears rolling down his face were not sad tears, they were happy tears.
I fucking hate
The
those
crowd
so
of the
much.
onlookers burst into applause. There was only like 3.
Like it's a whole crowd, like a coliseum.
Well, there's only 3 because they all snuck out, remember? And it was
Yeah.
against the rules. But Harry did not notice all the cheering, students and teachers. He was bathing in the love of the Lord. That's the end of this.
Okay, so, we're gonna keep reading. We're gonna finish this now.
Finish this right
In
now?
this episode, yeah.
Okay.
We've had enough. I've had enough!
Okay. I don't know if the author's note's good or not, but it seems a little longer than the last one.
She's like, oops, I didn't mean for that typo. I was so confident in my newfound writing skills. And I didn't think I needed to ask the teacher to full proofread.
Do you think the teacher, like, told her to change a bunch of stuff about, like, what she was saying, and then she was like, "I'm not going to do that"?
Yeah. The cheering crowd converged on the 2 righteous boys. They were led by Dean Thomas, Hermione, and Ronald.
She's probably going to community Christian college. Anyway.
Community, CCC, Triple C. Hermione reached Harry first. Joyful tears were streaming down her face, and her lacy pink skirt was swirling around her legs. I didn't like that.
I don't like
When she reached Harry, she wrapped her delicate arms around him in a chest hug.
When I hug my man, I choke him out. Because my burly hands.
I was so scared, she whispered tearfully. Harry pulled away and patted her reassuringly. He told her, "There's nothing to be afraid of.
Not be afraid of.
Not when we are on the side of righteousness." Hermione grinned admiringly. She exclaimed, "You're so brave." Harry smiled humbly and blushed and rubbed the back of his neck like a shy schoolboy.
He's like,
"Fuck off, Harry." He's like, "I guess." Like an anime person. He didn't know why, but he felt so different around her than other people. "You're horny, Harry." Perhaps it was because she was so godly, if that's what you want to call it. But Harry felt that it might be more than admiration that he felt. What was the word? He could not quite put his finger on it. Horny! Dean Thomas stepped forward and gave him a very polite handshake. "Amazing job out there," he commented intelligently. Harry smiled humbly. It was the work of a power greater than my own. Dean Thomas shook his head in admiration at how humble Harry was being. Truly, a light was shining in this little one. I'm gonna fuck off myself. Ronald was next in line. Tears were streaming down his face and his nose was running down to his chin. Gross. He wiped his face with a big freckled hand. He stuck out the other one for Harry to shake. Harry generously returned the action. "That was amazing," Ronald sobbed honestly. "How do I be as holy as you?" Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione... Killing myself so hard. "How do I be as holy as you?" Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione exchanged a knowing look. They said, side-eye. "Maybe," they suggested, "it has something to do with the hat on your head." Ronald got a thoughtful look on his face.
Not them basically, like, ganging up on him and being like, maybe it's because...
"You're thinking differently than we do." His mean siblings were too many for 2 parents to care for. Did not like the look of that, wherever that was. Altogether, they walked over and grabbed Ronald and pulled him away. Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione were sad, but they hoped in their hearts that their words of truth would plant seed and grow. What is this? Grow a garden? Grow a faith? Grow a religion? But before they could think too much about it, a car pulled into the parking lot. It did not look like the car a busy...
Is a fucking parking lot?
I guess so.
Because people don't drive there. Because they fucking pray and they're there. How the fuck are their cars? Sorry.
Hold on. It did not look like the car a busy mommy or daddy would have. No, this was a small, so-called eco-friendly car. Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione looked at it suspiciously. They did not know who would come out of it, but they got the feeling it would not be someone good. The car stopped. The door opened. A man stepped out. He was tall and pale-skinned. He was a younger man, with only a thin layer of hair hidden underneath his shirt. He's a hairy motherfucker.
No, he's opposite of hairy because he doesn't have a lot.
With only a thin layer of hair hidden underneath his shirt. He was wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants and sneakers. No one seemed to take much notice of him.
So he's our generation.
But then the Reverend's wife stepped onto the scene. She screamed. "Arr!" She fainted. At the sound of her cry for help, the Reverend Dumbledore came running to the rescue. So many so-called pro-women's rights people think that Ephesians 5:20-25 is just about wives being submissive. What they don't talk about is that it also tells husbands to sacrifice for their wives. Wow, does that sound oppressive? That's actually in the fucking text.
Yeah.
When he saw the man who had gotten out of the car, he stopped and gasped, and then he shouted, "Stand back, students, this is Voldemort himself." And I don't want to read those Bible quotes, so we're at the final chapter.
Okay, the final chapter. Let's see how this ends.
Hopefully they all get shot.
I can't tell if it's trying to load.
It's trying to load.
Or if there's not anything up at the top. Okay. Author's note. Okay, it says, so the husband basically made her stop writing this, is basically what the author's note says.
Oh.
It says, "Hello friends, I have some news. I know that it might be disappointing to the mommies out there. My husband and I had a very long talk last night, and he doesn't think that posting my writing online and going to class is a good idea for our family anymore. It was a hard decision for me to accept, but he does know best.
No, he doesn't.
I want to thank all of my many righteous believers who have supported me in this little mission of mine, and I hope that this last chapter ties up the loose ends as best as one chapter can." So basically her husband was like, "I don't think you should go to school anymore or learn how to write because women don't do that." And she was like, "Okay."
She was like, "Okay, baby."
Yeah. Harry gasped and Dean Thomas gasped too. At least they didn't say intelligently.
I know.
And Hermione burst into tears as Voldemort ambled through the parking lot.
I was going to say Hermione burped.
The enormous crowd of righteous students were nervous, but they were still stood boldly in the face of such horrifying evil. Dumbledore stood in front of them protectively and manfully. Okay. Harry looked at the depraved man walking toward them, and he thought of all the lies that he must have been told by the evolutionist and feminist all his life, and he thought of the empty, meaningless depravedness that he would have to distract him from that missing love in his life, and he thought of how one day he would die, and that there would be no happy heaven for him, only the flames of hell. Harry wondered how anyone could be so stupid. Who would want hell more than heaven? It made Harry so angry. Voldemort stopped walking when he was in front of the Reverend Dumbledore. He arrogantly nodded and said, "Hey, my name's Tom Riddle, and I'm here to visit my cousin. Which way's the guy's dorm?" "Enough of your lies!" Dumbledore exclaimed bravely. "We know who you are." Voldemort blinked stupidly, and then he uttered childishly, "I'm sorry." "What?" Dumbledore smiled smartly. "You're pretending to be dumb, I see." "Well, I'm not stupid. We all know about how much you hate Christians." "What? I don't hate Christians." Voldemort lied dishonestly. "What are you even talking about?" "You're still pretending to be dumb," the Reverend pointed out truthfully. "We all know about your plot to illegalize Christianity, Voldemort." Voldemort blinked stupidly again and questioned evilly, "Wait, this is about my Reddit account?"
What?
"Is that what you call your godless coven?" Dumbledore queried knowingly. Who the fuck is on Reddit? "Well, yes, I have indeed seen your so-called Reddit account, and just try to deny your hatred for Christianity when you post things like this. Christians all suck. Their religion is stupid and should be illegal. I will write to Congress and tell them to make law." Harry Potter laughed intelligently because Voldemort did not even understand proper spelling and grammar.
Girl,
that was a joke.
I feel like on Reddit, Voldemort was like, or Dumbledore was like, "We saw your sinful drawings. You drew me as a wolf with a pregnant belly."
Okay. "That was a joke," Voldemort retorted unintelligently. "That whole account is a joke. I mean, Voldemort, the righteous skeptic?" He laughed with the nervousness of one who knows he is damned. "Of course you're not supposed to take it seriously." I think it's funny that he made this whole joke, and then people were, like, actually taking it seriously. "Do you think religion is a laughing matter, young man?"
Yes.
Dumbledore demanded righteously. "Well, it is not. What sort of joke is trying to outlaw religion? Of course I don't actually want to outlaw religion," Voldemort uttered deceptively. "That would be ridiculous. I just got annoyed by the ridiculous straw man some Christians have made out of atheism. So whenever I see someone ranting about how depraved and evil we non-believers are, I reply with something like that. You know, taking that stereotype to an extreme to point out how ridiculous it is." I like that he's making sense.
I know.
Also, a small but vocal minority of atheists exist, and that stereotypes and mocks anyone who disagrees with them. They can just be just as hateful as people think we all are. And that does deal damage. They bug me as much as the straw man arguments do, and they give those arguments credibly. So I do the same thing to them, replying with an extreme version of what they said to highlight the absurdity of it. So you're making fun of atheism, Dumbledore interrogated shrewdly. No, I am an atheist, Voldemort explained sinfully. I'm just as I thought, Dumbledore surmised wisely, and he smiled holily in satisfaction that the Lord had worked through him. We have been prepping for this day, and we have been preparing for it for a long time. Students! This ending is, like, sending me really crazy, because basically someone said, I hate you because you're an atheist, and he was like, oh no, I'm just gonna ban all religion, like, as a joke, and then people are, who the fuck is on Reddit, and is like, oh my god, he's gonna pass a law, he's gonna do all this shit, who came up with that, are they fucking crazy?
This to me is like, if someone was on Roblox, and they're like, I'm gonna end it all, I'm gonna end the world, and they're like,
yeah. The Holy Little One stood at attention. Convert him! Dumbledore commanded bravely, and all at once the students began to shout. You have been tricked by the lies of society, Harry shrieked knowingly. You deserve to burn in hell. Come over here, Dean Thomas screeched articulately. Debate me on religion. I'm just so upset that you don't accept the Bible. Hermione sobbed femininely. The Bible is the best book ever. Why can't you just respect that? I'm a Gryffindor hat now, Draco yelled boldly with the inspiring zeal that so many newcomers to faith have. Do you hate me now? I bet you do. It's funny how they're literally making fun of themselves. Voldemort covered his ears with the discomfort that heathens often find themselves with when they are confronted with the truth. I hate that they said that.
So they don't want to seem like a cult, but this is a very cult-like behavior.
And he shouted loudly to drown out the word of the Lord. You've been preparing to do this? To scream at me? It is the work of the Lord, Dumbledore explained accurately. Aren't there better ways to spend your time than preaching to a bored idiot who makes fun of people on the internet? Damn. Voldemort questioned hedonistically. Your Lord seemed to be pretty concerned about helping the people around him. Is that not his work anymore? How can we focus on helping people when there are people like you trying to destroy us? Dumbledore countered astutely. I told you before that Reddit account is a joke, Voldemort whined pathetically, but the Reverend shook his head. I thought that might be so at first, the Reverend commented fairly, but it was just too realistic. How was it realistic? Voldemort inquired uninformed. It wasn't even subtle. I waxed poetic about the sexiness of the neckbeards and said that Christopher Hitchens has superpowers. It was supposed to be funny. How can you take it so seriously? Dumbledore scoffed, and he replied faithfully, like it or not, your little joke is not what most atheists today are like. So my Reddit account solidified your conception of atheists as a bunch of anti-Christian bigots who are just angry at God. Voldemort solicited stupidly, and then he sighed, okay, you know what, this has gone too far. I'm sure that most people can tell that I'm not being serious, but if I'm contributing to misinformation and stereotypes, I don't feel any comfortable continuing this. Voldemort pulled out an iPhone out of his pocket, and he began to type on it. After a few minutes, he showed the screen to Dumbledore. See this? I just made a post. I am a troll. It is the last post I will make on that account. Are you happy? Dumbledore virtuously ignored the heretic, and he turned to the little one standing behind his protection. Students of Hogwarts, this fool will not listen to reason. Let's save this heathen's soul. All the little ones got on their knees, and they raised their hands to the sky, and they screamed to the heavens. In the voices of those who knew they were doing great work, Lord, please make Voldemort a Gryffindor hat. Voldemort sighed wickedly, and he shook his head godlessly, and then he walked away depravedly. But even as the fornicating, drug-addicted evolutionist disappeared into the distance, the righteous little ones continued to pray. They knew it. If they screamed loud enough, they could change the world.
That felt like the ending of a fucking horror movie.
I understand that she had to, like, kind of wrap it up, so she probably, changed a bunch of it. But are you telling me that Dumbledore was on Reddit, which, why would he be on Reddit? Because Reddit is the most depraved place of them all.
Oh, yeah.
And he saw this post, basically, and he was like, haha, I'm gonna outlaw all religion, and then he was like, you're gonna pass a law! And they're like, and he's like, I'm literally making a joke on the internet.
When he said, he's gonna pass the law, I thought you were gonna say, he's gonna pass away! That too.
Well, did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
But, yeah. Right? So, and then it's like, I like how nothing happens to him, he just walks away while they're screaming at him.
Like, he's completely fine. He's unbothered.
He sounds so normal that it makes all the other shit in this book sound crazy.
So that book was horrible, and
At least we're done.
I hope her kids hate her and don't talk to her anymore.
I know.
Because that was a lot. Okay, guys, we're gonna go sin and cleanse ourselves from this fuckery. We will see you guys next season. Goodbye. This is the shortest season we've done. It's like 5 or 6 episodes. I think 6. Yeah.
It's very short though.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.